Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is a more so serious video. I need to address the community because over the past month we've seen some crazy shit, and one of the biggest developments we've seen within the community took place today. Alright, so first I just want to give you guys a quick announcement. I have a Discord server, link in description. Please, for the love of God, join it if you haven't already. We are trying to grow, and yeah, we're trying to grow the server. But anyway, so anyway, what I need to talk about today is the recent Cold War that the server has gotten in. And I also want to just explain a few things. So, welcome to the first ever Nexus address. Okay? So, here is, you already know what I want to talk about, so we're just going to dive right into it. First things first, Mario Kart World Server War. I want to give you guys some background information on that so we're all on the same page. So, you'll be able to read more about this stuff in the Clarkstein files. So, on July 5th, Shortcat drops a video talking about fixing the game, right? Then I joined the server because he promoted it. This was during the Shortcat migration period that the server had. After I joined, I met QDot and another friend, Shortbrick, and we built this community up from the ground. So, Shy Guy Bazaar, that's where everybody would meet up, along with another server called After Hours. But both servers came under fire, since we were just sub-servers, when the Mario Kart World Discord server started banning people for no reason, and there was a growing unrest within the server. Then one of the mods, who we were friends with... What is my little brother screaming about right now? Okay, so... While... I have to talk louder and closer to the mic now to make my little brother shut up. So, basically, one of the mods... got sexually harassed by some guy, and then he joined the Mario Kart World server, and then she told the owner of the server because she was afraid that he would go after other people. They did not want to ban him, even though they had proof that he was a pedophile, or not a pedophile, but I guess a pervert and shit like that. So a second server was made to be an alternative called Mario Kart Hub. I don't exactly know if it's still running since I haven't been in it since the day it was made. Everybody joins it, we're all talking, then I find out the whole situation. So that was when the line was crossed. We had all been banned for stupid reasons. My friend now is being sexually harassed with no justice. And the owner of the server took the side of the person who sexually harassed her. So, I spent 2 hours upon getting home that day making a alt account named Conkdor Galore. This would be the first of a series of accounts that I call the Proxy Gs. More on the Proxy Gs later, because they have a lot to do with what we just dealt with. So, this Proxy G was called Conkdor Galore. Now, there was actually a proxy made before it called LuigiG2, but that account failed of getting into the server, so I had to make a second one. So the first two proxies was LuigiG2 and Conkdor Galore. So I go in as Conkdor Galore after we formed Shy Guy Bazaar and After Hours. If you know Caden, who's in my server, he was one of the creators of After Hours. It was like a club for band members. It was like a refuge. Because Shy Guy Bazaar is a refuge, but it was also like its own thing. If you watched the Rixer and his Conquering Jack 3 series, you would know about a group called Jakira's Underground, which is like one of the first hubs for the Jack 3 speedrunning community. Our Shy Guy Bazaar was their Jakira's Underground. This was where like so much happened. A few videos I made around that time were made in Shy Guy Bazaar. So yeah, so we formed an alliance called the SGB Alliance, or just the Shy Guy Bazaar After Hours Alliance, or just the Alliance, or the Louis Alliance if you want to give me credit for that, because I mean I made the alliance. Versus the Mario Kart World Discord server. So I go in, I declared war, and then I started fighting with people who were somehow stupid enough to not realize that Conqueror Galore was literally one of my alt accounts, when in the declaration of war, I literally stated that it was me, and I stated all the people I was fighting for. So, I was fighting with people with the proxy in the server. Some guy named Gold Guy, who actually just recently came back to the community. He's pretty chill. Gold Guy, was also there. I don't fully remember if he was, like, fighting or anything. All I remember is that he was, like, talking to them. But he was on our side. And Tasha Gamer was also, like, getting into a very light, soft beef with people. So... Okay, sorry about that. I found out that kids in the middle school, since all three of the schools in my district are connected, I just found out the kids in the middle school, were making like bomb threats or something. So I have off of school tomorrow. Woohoo! But anyway, I'm so fucking happy about that. But anyway, I'm not gonna edit that out because I want this to be live commentary, which is why I stutter, which is why I stop. I'm not gonna edit out my imperfections. That way, it's more like I'm actually talking to you. Instead of it being like this performative social media bullshit, I'm actually talking to you. It's actually a real conversation. Which I want this to be. This is a conversation between me and my community. This is premiering anyway, so you might as well pretend it's live. Yo, donate Nitro in the chat! Okay, but anyway, that was cringe. But anyway, yeah, so speaking about that, I'm back. I had to ask my little brother to stop screaming like a batshit insane lunatic. So anyway, but yeah, and then on top of this, there were agents, we called them foot soldiers from, After Hours who hadn't been banned yet, who were fighting with actual people and just making fun of people and actually fighting for our side. So there was an actual heated battle, right? After this, one of them, named Riley, took a screenshot of it, said LOL, and sent it in the general of Mario Kart Hub. They then said, something may be stirring, and then I just responded with, I'm mad. And then one of the mods who seceded from the server and created Mario Kart Hub, along with this other person named Piano. I don't know if it's the Piano that's been in like the shortcut videos. I doubt it, but that'd be really crazy if it was, because that's some hella fucking lore, I'm gonna be honest. But anyway, but yeah, so then they were like mad about the whole like war thing, but then again, it wasn't even about them, it was about my friends being attacked, and this was after a week and a half of straight bullshit and bullshittery from the mods. Like, I always knew that the mods would be kind of strict and stupid because it's a popular server and they're always strict and stupid, but the sheer amount of bullshit where they are actually dead ass some guy said sent a gif, right? It was a roll cyst gif, and it said KYS purple roll. Okay, the person he sent it to laughed about it and thought it was funny, and so did everyone else in the chat. He got banned though, even though it didn't really matter because everyone else thought it was funny. But at the same time, the person who's actually a sexual pervert, predator, joining a server that has majority minors, that's perfectly okay. So it was insane what was happening. I understand people get offended by the kill yourself raids and stuff, but we're talking about a joke and an actual predator, and we're taking the predator's side. So what are we doing? It was so ass backwards. They were geeked out they fucking minds. So yeah, that's why the war happened. And things were nasty. Things spiraled out of control. My proxy was banned. Tasha got banned. Either that or she left. But no, I'm pretty sure she was banned. The after hour... No, I remember now. She lost mod for not stopping my proxy. And then left herself. Because the server... There were a lot of people in the server brainwashed by the owner to take his side. And the after hours foot soldiers were banned. Gold Guy, though, I don't remember if he was banned or not. If you're watching, Gold Guy, feel free to state whether you were banned or not. Because it didn't look like you were actually, like, fighting with anybody. So, it was, like, probably like Tasha, where it was vague on the side of the war you were fighting in. But anyway, after that, around that time, Shamar got banned from the server, if you know anything about that. Again, I don't fully know if what he did was serious or not, but I don't know. We found out why QDOT was banned. It was because of another kill yourself thing similar to the story I just told you. Again, we're mad over people making a joke about suicide, and then we're letting actual sexual predators be in the server full of kids. So, do with that what you will. Again, I don't condone telling people to kill themselves. But also, it's not like he really meant kill yourself. It was just a roll cyst gif. If the person was offended, they would have stated it. But they weren't offended. They laughed about it and thought it was funny as hell. So did everyone else in the chat. Me too. So, it wasn't like an actual offense. And again, even if you want to say it was, they banned people on the spot for that. No timeout, no warning, no nothing. They banned people for that and let an actual sexual predator join a server full of kids. Call it rhetoric, call it what you will. I will not stop saying that. It is literally what happened. So, yeah. But anyway, the owner of the Mario Kart World server, he had problems. And it was funny because guess what? There were traitors in the Mario Kart World Discord server around the time the war was ending, after the main assault stopped. They doxed him, found his address, and sent him death threats. Please understand, this was not my intention. Nobody knew about these people because these people simply heard a very vague description of what happened and automatically decided to take it to the most extreme you could possibly take it on the internet. None of us in the Alliance knew about these people until after it had happened. And then I had been banned from Mario Kart Hub without any ability to appeal, which then again, I didn't really give a shit about. But I was pissed. Because why were they sending death threats? Look, what the owner did was bad, but that's no excuse to dox someone, release their address, and I think their IP address too, and send them death threats. And guys, I could have been fucking convicted for this shit, okay? I don't know about that, but apparently he was offered by the police, because he spoke to the police about it, as he should. He was offered if he wanted to press charges. He said no. I'm starting to think that they probably would have pressed charges against the people doing the actual crime. But they could have, I don't fully know if they could have also, like, pressed charges on me as well. So that's really fucking bad. I almost got fucked over by these people. And I did. I got ostracized from the Mario Kart community. There's some people in the Mario Kart community who still like me, and not many people are still going to know about this. Because if anybody's watching my channel, they probably are only going to know my side, which, unfortunately, is the truth. And I say unfortunately because I'd really love to be able to say that, oh, you know, like, maybe they were right, but no. They were just fucking retarded. You banned someone over little shit. They would time you out for days just for talking about punishments other people got in the server. Meanwhile, they let an actual sexual predator be in the server when they had proof of him being a predator. So don't make an excuse. These are not good people. But I'm not saying go after the server owner if you somehow find out who the fuck he is. Do not go after him. I'm saying it here. You may not go after him. He was kind of a scummy person. But there is no excuse to make another conflict when the conflict has been over since August 11th. Okay? Because that was when the war ended. The war officially ended at 4 a.m. on August 11th. Then there was a fallout the next day, August 12th. I lost a friend because he was told about some things that I lied to him about. I still carry guilt for that. Oh yeah, and the Mario Kart World server also took a massive hit. About 200 people left. And on top of that, because I have an alternate account so that I can get my 3-lap track lobbies. Yeah, that server was dead as shit. I dropped the game and played Mario Kart 8. There was no fun way. This is before they started fixing worldwides properly to make it so that you can at least have a 3-lap track. They only barely fixed it a little bit. Again, I still think they're just putting the band-aid on the broken bone, but whatever. But it's still better though. Now. But like, it's better now than it was at this time. So worldwides were out of the question, and unless you're like grinding VR, worldwides were just unplayable back then. And obviously, intermissions have now warmed up, and I also like a few intermissions. I still prefer 3-lap tracks though. I'd rather play, unless it's like Desert Hills or Peach Beach, then I'd rather the 3-lap track. I like intermissions for single player and Knockout Tour. They work there, not so much online when I'm trying to play in a competitive setting. And I know Lounge exists. I played in Lounge. But, again, I just dropped the game. Because Lounge is fun, but that's when you're actually trying to be locked in. But if you just want to play for fun, you need the server lobbies if you don't want to play intermission hell at that time. And that server was dead as fuck after the war. So, there were no lobbies. So, I dropped the game and I played Mario Kart 8 with Hex. Beautiful times. And then after that, my canon event happened. But I already talked to y'all about that. That's not what this video is about. But anyway, yeah, so that happened. And that was why the war happened. You're probably going to look at me and say that I'm kind of a bad guy for causing him to get stuff, like, threatened against him and stuff. But I didn't tell anybody to do that. Nobody in either After Hours or Shy Guy Bazaar had anything to do with that. These were people from the Mario Kart World server themselves. So, this was not orchestrated with them. And I was pissed. I had Gold Guy check up on the owner afterwards because I wanted to know if he was alright, and that's how I found out he was doing alright. And, like, I had Gold Guy tell him that I felt bad and I didn't want anybody to do that. That was way too far. I understand what I did was bit extreme, but you gotta understand the circumstances. Those are not valid circumstances to dox the guy and threaten to kill him. So, I mean, come on. People take shit way too out of hand, bro. All of this that I talked about will be released in Exhibit A or CLF 001 of the Clarkstein files. I think I'll get to the Clarkstein files a little bit. I'm probably going to rename this shit, though. No, I'm not, but... So anyway, other than that, what I am going to say is... So that's why the Mario Kart World War happened. After all that, damn, it's been 20 minutes already. Holy shit. We still got a lot more to talk about. So then after that, you know, we had the whole, like, fluctuating of the servers and shit throughout the next couple months. Everything went to shit, and then went back, and then went back to shit. The Shamar migration happened, and then the conflicts happened, and then the war happened, and then the post-war conflicts happened. And then my last video dropped, but I'm not going to mention any names because that would break the peace treaty, and I'm not a bitch. So I'm not saying all that. And when I talk about Shamar, I'm not saying anything bad about him. The Shamar migration was a good thing because it got people in the server, and it gave everybody a chance to be a part of the community. They were the ones who messed it up, not Shamar. I'm going to say that. Shamar wasn't Shamar wasn't a part of the issues, and when I talk about the conflicts and the war in the last video, it's not because I'm making any hate against anybody, it's simply because of the fact that I'm just stating events that have happened. So I'm not trying to start a beef, if you're watching this, which I doubt you are, but if you are, I'm not trying to start beef, I'm simply just mentioning events of the past. That's not what we're here to talk about. You know, I already talked a lot about the war, the post-war conflicts that I ended last week, and all that. But now we can talk about the Cold War, because we have two major wars. It makes sense to have a Cold War after, because we're repeating history. Even though the Mario Kart World War was just kind of like the American Revolution. Colonies getting mistreated by Mother England, and then, you know, all that. Okay, so... there's been drama between a few people in my server. I'm not really going to talk about it. But anyway, what I am going to say is a friend of mine, we're going to call him LK. He's friends with a guy we're going to call WP. WP and him had a lot of beef. And LK created a server. This I'm going to say because it's public information. Fartbutttopia. I mean, the usernames are also, but I'm not trying to start any fights. So, Fartbutttopia was created, and, basically what happened was, LK tried to make things better with WP, and he actually did. So then he tried to invite WP back to the, Fartbutttopia server. And that started a crazy conflict between them. It was a civil war, kind of, but not really. I'm making some crazy connections now that I brought up civil war. Mario Kart World War is a revolution. Maybe the October conflicts could count as a civil war because there was a lot of infighting. Or no, the incident at the end of the summer, that's like a civil war, kind of. Right before the Great Migration. The Exodus. Then, the war after the Shamar conflicts count as World War I, and then the conflicts after that I ended last week count as World War II. And this is the Cold War. Anyway, yeah, I'm just rambling. Back to what I was actually talking about. So, there was beef in that server. It wasn't really a civil war, it was just a basic beef, you know, not everything's a war. But, then what happened was, holy shit. Oh, never mind. So anyway, what happened was, people were getting mad at LK, and I was finding out about this, and I was getting kind of pissed off. Then, this other guy, this was days after the post-war conflicts ended. This was days after the conflicts ended, after last week. This was like on Saturday, I think. Or no, this was on like Wednesday morning or something. LK was getting attacked by another guy because they were mad at LK for like no reason whatsoever, because people were like crashing out about him in the other server. that we have nothing to do with anymore. But he didn't even do anything. So then I get in the fray, and then, like, I'm talking to this guy, and then, like, I eventually tell him off, like, yo, you're bitching over absolutely fucking nothing. You're headcanoning events that didn't exist, and in case you didn't notice, you can't headcanon IRL events, you fucking retard. And then after that, it ended. He was like, I don't care, we still don't like you. And I was like, fine, you don't gotta like him. But, like, shut the fuck up and leave. So he did, and that was it. You know, no conflict, nothing like that. We just ended a quick beef. I had aura, okay? I had aura last week. I ended a month-long conflict in 2 hours, and I ended another conflict in 5 minutes. Because I'm the fucking goat. But anyway, so then LK would get into a fight with Squitter. This, I have to drop his name. Because this is all part of what we call the Squitter Cold War. This is when things were escalating because LK, a firm representative now, not only that branch of the wider community, but my server as a whole, was being attacked by this other guy who doxed WP, and I made him apologize in my server so that he could stay. He started another beef in the thread for the court case. So, things were getting pretty heated now between us and this branch. So, what did I do? I went into the server and I exiled the entirety of the Fartbutopia branch from the community. And then I had to ban Alex Grind from my server. Then I got banned from his server. Mind you, we were talking about war too. Again, it wasn't like... Because here's the thing. When we're having big, escalating, overarching conflicts like this, war is usually what we get from it. Either that or an incident. Incidents and wars are just fucking insufferable. But anyway, but no, that's not what happened. We didn't want war. This, again, it's a Cold War. It's like, you know, during the Cold War, everybody was afraid of nuclear war, but that never even happened. But yes, this is why we call it the Squitter Cold War. So anyway, so then I find out that Alex Grind is pretty alright. I see Bidet. I let him stay. I don't exile him because he's chill. He's been chill for months now. He's a goat. So is Alex Grind, and so is LK. But anyway, you know what, damn it, I'm just gonna drop the name Lee, okay? It's Lee. God. No point of hiding it when I just say everything that he said. So, anyway, so then, like, me and Lee have been talking. He's been getting into fights with Squitter for a while. And then I think he kicked him from Fartbutopia. But that's crazy, okay? Because I had already talked to Lee about this earlier this week. And I was saying on how, okay, well then maybe, if not all of them were involved in the beef, because I was under the impression from what I was seeing that the entire server was mad at him. And then if that's the case, that can't stand. If y'all are taking the side of the guy who can't even fucking apologize about nothing. So, that's why they were all exiled. But now I'm telling them, like, you know, like, so then I'm talking to Lee and I'm like, you know what, maybe if they're not all in it, then maybe if they all pledge allegiance to the wider community and drop this soft rebellion they're doing, along with dropping the beef with Lee, because he didn't do anything wrong. He tried to make up with an old friend. That says a lot more about his character than Squitter's. Hot take of the century. But anyway, so I'm simply just saying that, you know, if they pledge allegiance and are good guys, are good little boys, they can come back to the community. I'll naturalize them again. And then today I decided to make that official. I joined the server before Squitter got banned. Squitter didn't even know. Why? Because I deadass didn't send a single message, and I changed my server profile name to Crimson Slayer 420. Along with that, my good buddy Timmy 456 joined as well. And that is when. And then today I sent in and enabled my first ever proxy. A proxy The first proxy used since the start of the Mario Kart World War. That's months ago. This proxy's name is proxyg underscore bracket #1 bracket. Screenshot's up on the screen right now. And I send this message after inputting the password. Now that Squitter has left this server, there is no trace of him left in the wider community. This was true because now that he's gone, there's no trace of this guy because all the other servers, they've been exiled already. The only reason Farpatopia is even barely linked to the community still, it's still exiled, but we still have contact with it because me and Timmy were in it, and also Lee was in our server. So that's why. So, Squitter being gone truly turned this server into a ghost town, which meant that this was the perfect opportunity for me to enable my proxy. So we send in proxyg number 1. And it says, now that Squitter has left the server, there is no trace of him left in the wider community. This concludes the conflict known as the Squitter Cold War. This marks the end of the Cold War, by the way. Because now we've pretty much won. We've technically won. Alex Grind has been de-exiled from the community, or naturalized back into it. Alex Grind, he's alright. I think I sent him an invite back to my server, I forget, but anyway. And now joins Lee and Icy Bidet as the 3 members of the Farpatopia branch that are in the server, in the community. If you want to be invited back to the community, you must swear allegiance to the community, not engage in rebellion, and this also includes dropping whatever beef they have with Lee. And if you have beef with other people in my community, you can sort that out with them another day. Not hard, it's like very reminiscent of Abraham Lincoln's 10% plan. Not that hard of a thing. And then after that, I sent in another proxy message saying, once everyone is naturalized, this server will be back into the community. So essentially, the people that need to be naturalized back into the community in order for the community to, for Farpatopia to rejoin the wider community, that would be Argentum Straight 067, JD, and Octobeo. They will need to drop whatever beef they have with Lee, which I don't think they have any, but they will need to do that and pledge allegiance to the wider community. So, don't fucking attack people for no reason and shit like that, and don't, wage war for no reason. Do that, and once those 3 people do it, Farpatopia will rejoin the community. But for right now, Farpatopia is under occupation by us, so they're not really a part of the community, but we have some grasp over it because Lee's in the server and I'm friends with Lee. And it's not like I'm taking over the server. Don't get my words wrong. What I'm just saying, though, is that I'm in it, I can monitor it, I can see what's going on. And then if my proxy gets banned, which is me, but I'm just on an alternate identity. So if my proxy gets banned, I'm going to stay silent, because I don't want to reveal anything. But then again, I don't think it is. And Lee, I'm going to talk to you eventually about this, because I just want to let you know. I'm just going to say, if my proxy's banned, I have the ability to send in a second proxy, but it's not with Timmy. It is not with Timmy. Timmy's a good goyim. But yeah, Farpatopia is currently under our occupation. As of earlier. As of 4:05 p.m. today, proxyg number 1 occupied the server. And now I can see what happens in the server. Again, not like I'm taking over or attacking the server. I just need to see what's going on, because I want to make sure. But yeah. So, the screenshots were just up on the screen. But yeah, so that happened. So now I just want to address you guys. These past few months have been pretty fucking hectic when it comes to this stuff. We've seen the community grow. My server went from being the Luigi Discord and some boring, bland-ass server to becoming Louis Hub and becoming, the central server for the entire wider community. what is the wider community right now? My server is like the central. Then Q.Dot's server, Q.Dot's forest, exists in it. It's like the second biggest one. Then there's the Gang of Rowlettes, which is ran by Kamasan. And there's also We Plays' server. I think he still owns it. I remember he gave it to Mr. Man, but I heard Mr. Man gave it back, so I think We Plays has it. That's part of the community, but, like, I'm not even in it, so, like, I don't really know what the fuck is going on in it, but then again, I don't really fucking care. I mean, I'll probably join it eventually, because I want to be in all the servers, because I love my community. And then, of course, there is the sacred grounds of Shy Guy Bazaar. Shy Guy Bazaar is pretty much just occupied by me and Q-Dot. I want to work something out with Q-Dot, though, but I'll talk to Q-Dot about that in a little bit, because I got a little framework idea for a deal I want to make with him that'll make Shy Guy Bazaar great again. I sound like the president right now, talking about framework deals and great again. Why has the U.S. government had such an influence on the community? We've never worked in official government ways like this until then. And that's tough. But yeah, make Shy Guy Bazaar great again, or MZBGA. Yeah, it's a big abbreviation. MZBGA. Okay, no, but I'm being serious though. But yeah, so to make Shy Guy Bazaar a goated server, I have a little idea for a deal that I want to make with Q-Dot. I'll talk to Q-Dot about that in a little bit. But for right now, what's happening is, so I want to solidify something. This goes out to the owners of all the other servers. So, my server, which is just me, Q.Dot's Forest, the Gang of Rowlettes, We Plays Ya, if that's still the name of it. I think it is, but I don't know. So, essentially, to Q.Dot, Kamasan, We Plays, Mr. Man, since he's owned a server, Keiki, since he has a server, even though nobody really uses it, and Z-Dog, because Z-Dog has a server, but it's, like, not really part of the community, because he's got his own community. But, you know, it would still be tough. It's called Z-Dog's community. It's so cool. Most goonable server I've ever seen. But anyway, but he owns a server, so why not? You know, we can still back each other up or anything. Yeah, and I'm not saying merge the communities. Fuck no. Because I don't know who is part of Z-Dog's community, but I'm afraid that people in that community might see our community and might think that we're a bunch of fucking psychopaths. I really find it funny on how everybody just overlooks that Timmy's username in the server is Herpes Lover. 674,169. So that's something. Oh, Herpes Lover 674169. He was geeked out of his fucking mind back then. Holy shit. But yeah, so even if Z-Dog wants to join in on this just because, why not? You know, it'd be cool. But what I'm saying though is to this fellow server owners, come to me like I said in my last video. Make a deal with me. I want to form... What is happening? Okay. I want to form an alliance in order to make this community stronger than ever before. Because with the deals that I have in mind, and with the things I could do if we make this permanent alliance, and again, it's not a union. All the servers are going to remain sovereign. But what it is, though, is I want to have an alliance so that, say, if we get into another fucking war like we did about a month ago, we'll have a greater grasp on community than we ever did. And I'm not saying that for control. Me personally, if you see the shit that we talk about in my server, you know I don't give a fuck about that shit. It's not about control. I'm not some fucking imperialist. What I'm saying is that we could be strong be friends, remain sovereign, and if a war starts, we'd be way more powerful. It's about sovereign strength between each server. It's not a union. It is just helping each other out. This is a funny example, but America and Israel. There's some conspiracy theorists who think that America is secretly part of Israel, and do with that what you will. I'm not talking about those politics on my channel, but the fact of the matter is that whether you believe it or not, technically we are not a part of Israel. So, but we just help them out. Some would say we shouldn't help them out. Some say we should. Some say we're helping them more than we need to. Some say we're somehow helping them not enough. I don't see that argument, though. But we're still two nations kind of helping each other out. Weird analogy. Best analogy I can give. So take with that what you will. Not political. Just an analogy, guys. We could talk about countries in 2026 without talking about politics. It's a simple statement of an actual fact. America and Israel help each other. Doesn't take half a brain to know that's true. Whether you support it or not, that's up to you. I'm not putting my input on the situation, but what I am saying is that it's just a simple fact that that's what happens. So don't bitch at me in my server and in my comment section. So I want to make an alliance. Me, Q Dot. The ideal lineup would be me, Q Dot, Kamasan, WePlays, Mr. Man, Keiki, and maybe Z-Dog if he wants to get in on it. Of course, it wouldn't be like his server joining the community because I know he's got that shit handled by himself. That's all good. But it'd be more so just like, we'd be friends. If he wants to make the alliance, I could then put his server into the Nexus servers channel. So people from my server could join that. But then again, it's up to Z-Dog. But if Z-Dog wants to, he can. Who the fuck is VCing in my server? Mr. Man and WePlays are jerking each other off in my server. What did Mr. Man send me? Guys, I'm doing a speech! Oh, my fucking hand. Dick cock. But anyway, so I want to make an alliance. And for Lee, because Lee, you are probably the most important server owner besides me and QDOT when it comes down to the imperialism right now. Because you are the head of Fartbuttopia, but Fartbuttopia has been mostly ostracized from the community. But it's still under occupation as we're still in it, monitoring it, making sure that more beef doesn't happen. Because, shit, bro, if beef starts in that server and people start fighting Lee and stuff, I could just use my proxy to just get rid of that proposal altogether. And we could just get rid of them for good. Cut them all off. Again, of course, my exiling doesn't really happen if I don't own all the servers, but I don't want to own all the servers. I'd rather be microwaved in an oven than own a single other server than mine. Because holy shit, if I had to own Q.Dot's server, let's see, and I had to deal with fucking, it's actually no one insane in that server, but I don't want to own servers. I'm cool with mine. My server's like the best one anyway. Yeah, my server's better. Rage bait, haha. Fall for it, please. But anyway, what I'm saying though is that I don't want to own any of the servers. I'm just saying, when it comes to that, because I don't own any of them, I can't enforce those rules with the others. But I could still make recommendations. Like, say, if Alex Grind was still not, like, naturalized, I could have told QDOT about everything that had been happening with that part of the community and why I removed them. And then QDOT would have been able to get rid of Alex Grind. But Alex Grind is still in QDOT's... Is he not in QDOT's server? Oh, no, he is. So, yeah. But, like, again, I don't really enforce things in other servers because it's not my right to do that. I don't care. Like, I don't have a right to enforce rules in other servers. What I am saying, though, is you know, still though, I can make recommendations, and you guys can make recommendations in my server, because that's democracy. But anyway, so I want to make a deal, and Lee, you can join this alliance too, but it'll only be the people in your server who are naturalized into the community that can be a part of this alliance. So if you join the alliance, you're only going to be representing Alex Grind and Icy Bidet, and whoever else in your server pledges allegiance and gets naturalized. Until Fartbuttopia is fully readmitted back into the community, you're not representing that server. You're simply representing the people in that server who are a part of the community. Hope that makes sense. But if we make this deal, and I can make the deal with Q-Dot for Shy Guy Bazaar, our community can be stronger than it ever was before. And I've been kind of rambling now for like 40 minutes. Yeah. I've been kind of rambling now, and it is kind of weird because I know that some of you guys are probably thinking that I'm all power hungry and shit. It kind of feels that way when I say it like that, but that's not really what I meant. I'm just saying your server can be better and my server can be better. I feed you, you feed me, you know what I'm saying? The only server that I want to have power in, really, is my server. I mean, I thank you guys for giving me mod in your server. You know, it's so sexy, but still, though, I only expect moderation power in my server. I'm not expecting that type of power in your servers. Simply just talking about an idea I have that I think it'd be cool. Not a union. Sovereign servers, not a union. We're not doing fucking unions. They failed twice. But yes, that's my address. I just want to say the Squitter Cold War has ended. Fartbuttopia may hopefully someday come back to the community. But it depends, because I know a lot of the people in that server are dead. But like until that server's back, I can't allow anybody to promote it in my server, which is sad, because that'd be tough. But for now, that's the end of the address. Thank you for watching the February 25th Nexus address. And I will... Oh! I have a few things to say about upcoming projects. Clarkstein files are canceled. I'm just going to drop the file I have right now about the Mario Kart World War, and that's going to be the end of it. Okay, I'll do that eventually. Discord server, trailer coming soon for that and the whole community shit, what I want to do. That trailer is going to come soon. It's called Project Nexus. It's the big revival campaign. And for my big project that I've been hinting towards for a while now, if you check my comic leaks, then you'll be able to see exactly what I've been cooking a little bit. That's coming soon. I'm almost done with it. I worked like pretty much the first half of February on it. It's literally almost done. I could put in 2 more days of work and it'd be done right now. I'm gonna drop a trailer for that, drop a trailer for the community revival thing. Once those are done, I'm gonna drop what I have for the project shit. And then only after that will regular videos come. This will be the final video besides those trailers that you get until my shit is done. I need to say this. But anyway, with that, thank you for watching the address. Good fucking bye.